On a cold winter night in Colorado, a 27-year-old woman named Lauren Mitchell sent a message that would change everything. It was a normal evening. Lauren was at home, working on her laptop and eating dinner. She lived alone and preferred quiet nights. Friends described her as careful, organized, and not the type to take risks. That night, she was texting her best friend, Jessica. At first, the conversation was casual. They talked about work and weekend plans. Nothing seemed unusual. Then Lauren suddenly sent a strange message. She asked Jessica if she had ever felt like someone was watching her. Jessica thought Lauren was joking and replied casually, but Lauren didn't respond the same way. Instead, she sent one final text. "I think I'm not alone." After that message, Lauren stopped replying. Her phone went silent. The next morning, Lauren didn't show up for work. This was extremely unusual for her. She never missed work without notice. Her boss tried calling, but there was no answer. By evening, police were asked to check on her. When officers arrived at Lauren's apartment, they found something unsettling. The door was locked. Inside, everything looked normal. Her purse was on the table. Her laptop was still open. Half-eaten food sat on the kitchen counter. There were no signs of a struggle and no forced entry. Lauren herself was gone. Neighbors were questioned. One neighbor said they heard quiet knocking on Lauren's door late that night. Another claimed to have seen a man wearing a dark hoodie standing in the hallway near her apartment, but they couldn't see his face clearly. Security cameras in the hallway should have recorded everything, but investigators discovered that the cameras stopped working for several minutes that night. As police continued their investigation, more disturbing details emerged. Lauren's recent internet searches included phrases like "how to know if someone is following you" and "apartment break-ins without force." These searches suggested she may have felt unsafe even before the night she disappeared. Even more unsettling was what investigators learned about her phone. Her phone's last signal came from inside her apartment hours after she was reported missing. That raised a terrifying question. If Lauren was already gone, who was using her phone? Despite extensive searches, no arrests were made. No suspects were officially named. Lauren Mitchell was never found. To this day, her final text message remains the strongest clue in the case, because whatever frightened Lauren that night wasn't outside her door anymore. It was already close enough to make her disappear without a sound. Police initially believed Lauren had left on her own, but that theory didn't last long. Her bank account wasn't touched, no withdrawals, no card activity. Her passport was still inside the apartment. Lauren hadn't planned to go anywhere. As days passed, the case started gaining attention. Missing posters were placed around the neighborhood. Her family arrived from out of state, hoping for answers, but the answers never came. Detectives focused on the apartment building itself. They checked entry logs, interviewed every resident, and reviewed nearby street cameras. That's when they noticed something disturbing. A service elevator in the building showed signs of recent use that night, even though no maintenance work was scheduled. The elevator camera footage was missing for a short window of time, the same window when Lauren's phone stopped responding. Someone had known exactly where the cameras were. Police then examined Lauren's phone records more closely. They found something unusual. Minutes before her final text, Lauren had received a call from an unknown number. The call lasted only 6 seconds, too short to be a conversation. Investigators believed it may have been enough time for someone to say just one sentence, something that scared her. When police traced the number, it turned out to be a prepaid phone, unregistered and impossible to link to a person. Another dead end. Weeks later, a new clue surfaced. A woman from a nearby town reported something strange. She said she had found a phone on the side of a highway trash stop. The phone was badly damaged, but the SIM card was still inside. It was Lauren's phone. The location shocked investigators. It was over 40 miles away from her apartment, which meant one thing. Lauren didn't walk away. She was taken. Forensic teams searched the area, but there were no signs of a struggle. No witnesses. No vehicles reported. The case slowly went cold. Years passed. Then something unexpected happened. A former resident of Lauren's apartment building contacted police. He claimed that during the time Lauren disappeared, he had noticed someone entering the building late at night using different access codes. Someone who didn't live there. According to him, this person always avoided cameras and never stayed long. By the time police tried to locate that resident, he had moved away. No forwarding address, no digital trace. Once again, the trail vanished. Lauren Mitchell's case remains unsolved. Her family still believes someone in that building knows what happened. And that final text message, "I think I'm not alone," wasn't fear. It was a warning. Years after Lauren Mitchell disappeared, the case file grew thick but empty. No arrests, no remains, no clear suspect. But one detail continued to trouble investigators. Lauren's sister insisted that Lauren was the kind of person who never opened the door for strangers. If someone had knocked that night, Lauren would have looked through the peephole first. Police returned to the apartment one final time. That's when they noticed something most people had missed. The peephole had been covered from the outside. A thin, almost invisible layer of clear tape had once been placed over it, enough to blur the view completely. Over time, it had collected dust and gone unnoticed. That meant Lauren couldn't see who was standing at her door. Whoever came that night didn't force their way in. They were invited inside. Investigators also confirmed something else. The service elevator could be accessed without cameras if someone knew the building's layout. Only people familiar with the building would know that, which narrowed the list down. Not a stranger, not a random criminal, someone who had been there before, someone Lauren may have recognized. Police reopened interviews with former residents and staff, but too much time had passed. Records were incomplete, memories had faded. The person responsible was never found. Lauren Mitchell was officially declared legally deceased. Her family still keeps her phone, the one that was recovered near the highway. It no longer turns on, but they keep it as a reminder of her last words, words that now feel terrifyingly clear. "I think I'm not alone." Lauren didn't mean someone was outside her apartment. She meant someone was already close enough to scare her, close enough to make her disappear without a sound. And somewhere, the person who did it has never been caught.